on the record, the matter of Harris-Bey, D21-629-755D. Sir, are you there? I did tell him 10:15.
Yes, now we're here.
All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Dunn?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. All right, sir. During the marriage, the second marriage, did you receive any stimulus payments from the federal government or the IRS?
Yes.
And how much money did you receive?
I'm not sure the exact amount, but it was just the standard that every family got. I'm sure you have the information if you wouldn't mind just telling me. I don't know exactly the amount it was. It's a couple of years ago.
Okay, and you say a standard that every family got. So did that include benefits received for Ms. Harris-Bey's children?
Right, at the time we were filing joint tax returns with the children as dependents. So I know the stimulus is based off of your tax return filing. So yes.
And how much did you receive for the children?
Yes, I'm not sure the exact stimulus amount per person, but I did receive it, and it was obviously used on expenses and bills and things for the upkeep household.
All right, and directing your attention now to proposed exhibit 18, which begins on, well, it's only one page, PLT 313.
It looks like a letter explaining the stimulus.
Okay, so this explains how much stimulus you got, and then also it mentions monthly payments of $500, correct?
Right. I only got the initial stimulus. I never got any monthly payments.
Well, where was your tax return deposited?
Into the bank account, the checking account.
Into your checking account, correct?
I'm not sure. We did have a joint account. Most likely went to the joint account.
Okay, so is it your testimony that you're not sure where your tax return money went to?
The tax return from 2021, no, I'm not 100% sure. I know where last year's went and the year before that.
What about for 2020?
For 2020, yeah, I believe it went to the joint account.
Okay, and the money from the stimulus would have been deposited into the same account that the tax return went to, correct?
Yes.
So it would have been an account you definitely had access to, right?
Yes.
So why would you say that you only received the initial payment?
Because this is July 2021. We had a joint account that I stopped using because we were obviously in the middle of filing a divorce. So I let her keep the joint account and I took to my own account.
Move to admit proposed exhibit 18.
Sir, do you have any objection to admission of plaintiff's 18?
No objection.
Plaintiff's 18 is admitted, no objection.
Isn't it true that you've made statements to Ms. Harris-Bey that the condominium is hers?
We had conversations about how to settle the divorce, and that was something we talked about, but we were never able to come to an agreement.
Well, I'm not referring to settlement negotiations specifically. I'm asking you if you've ever made a statement to Ms. Harris-Bey that the condominium is hers. Yes or no?
If I've made a statement about the condominium being hers or mine, obviously it would be in regards to us discussing a settlement. So outside of a settlement, I never gave the condo to her.
Okay. No further questions for this witness.
Plaintiff is at 69 minutes.
I call the...
He has to cross himself. Mr.
Oh,
Dunn.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Harris-Bey?
Yes, ma'am.
This is your opportunity for cross-examination. Owing to the limited amount of time that we have, I'm going to compress and allow you to do direct. Mr. Thoman obviously gets to ask you additional questions. We have a very short amount of time today. It's only 90 minutes per side. Plaintiff has about 21 minutes left. You are free to tell me what you would like to tell me, and also within the scope of what Mr. Thoman asked you.
The only thing I like to say is, I guess the recurring theme is that there were many things that were sent to my home in Las Vegas I didn't have access to, and that Carolyn tried to use that information against me.
Say that again, sir?
That's all I have to say about that. Because of the things that I wasn't able to receive in my home in Las Vegas, she tried to use that information against me. But I was obviously oblivious to, the exhibits. They're all dated to that address in Las Vegas, which I haven't been home to since February of 2021. So anything that was received at that address up to that time, I have not seen other than exhibits presented to the court.
How long have you been in Korea, sir?
That's all. Since February of 2021.
Is that your separation date, or did you separate before you went to Korea?
No, I'm still active duty. It was a two-year.
No. You're in your relationship, sir.
Oh, separated. We I guess there was no formal separation. We kind of agreed on terms of separation, I think, in January, right after my father passed.
January,
so
what, sir? What year?
Okay.
What year?
January 2021.
So you went to Korea, and then you had an agreement to separate. Is that right?
We agreed to separate prior to me going to Korea.
Okay, you just told me you went to Korea in February 2020.
No, 2021, I'm sorry. February 2021 is when I went to Korea.
And the month prior, you decided to separate.
Yes, ma'am.
What else would you like to tell me, sir?
That's all. Thank you.
Oh, I have some questions, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Thoman asked you about a MasterCard that's plaintiff's 26.
Yes.
And you denied opening that card. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you know who opened it?
No, I do not. I do know that Carolyn has all my info and has repeatedly tried to do things to sabotage me in my career, so it wouldn't put it past me if she opened it, but I did not.
When did you find out about that account?
I found out about it when I saw the exhibits presented, emailed to me from her attorney.
So Mr. Thoman asked you about Plaintiff's 33, which is a picture of a Visa debit crypto account.
Yes.
Okay. And is it true and correct that as of today, it's your testimony, there's no money in that account?
Right. I had focused on friends and was interested in, pursuing crypto, and I wanted to get that debit card because it has a lot of benefits, but I was never able to receive the card, so I never went any further with that account.
So is that a yes or a no?
That's a yes. I have no further accounts. No accounts.
There's no money in that account?
No money in that account yet.
Has there ever been
It's actually closed.
Has there ever been money in that account? Sir, listen to my questions.
No.
Has there ever been money in that account?
No, there's not.
Sir, Mr. Thoman asked you about the HOA collection account.
Yes.
And you testified that you expected your wife to make those payments.
Yes.
Okay. And from where was she going to make the payments? What account?
At the time, I was sending money to our joint account, about $1,100 a month, prior to her basically going to my boss and making a lot of accusations against me.
And that resulted in those.
July.
Sir, that resulted in the commanders making those orders, correct?
It happened about a year after that, actually.
Okay. All right. So, sir, lay it out for me. You went to Korea in 2021, and you testified that you and Ms. Harris agreed to separate or end the marriage in January of 2021, right?
Yes.
Tell me, February of 2021, what payments that you were sending home, and the dates, please.
So every month, I had a direct deposit set up for $1,100 to go to our joint account,
Okay.
which
and,
is where she used primarily for expenses at home.
Okay,
And
and
it wasn't until
how long did you pay the $1,100?
that was until June of 2021.
So from
That was when
February,
I
hang on, from February 2021 to June of 2021, you direct deposited $1,100 per month in a joint account.
yes.
And did you in addition pay the mortgage and household expenses, or was she expected to pay everything from that $1,100?
I was paying the mortgage at the time, the utilities, and I was paying all the household expenses, and that $1,100 was basically cash to her. The only thing she needed to pay from that was HOA.
And then after June 2021, what happened?
That's when I started getting the reports that she was accusing me of many bad things like sexual assault and things like that. So I was obviously taken back, and from that moment I decided that I was going to lower the amount of money that I was giving her. I looked into the regulations for the military. She didn't have a court agreement for spousal support, but I looked into the amount I needed to give her by the military standards. It was $1,296, the amount that my commander ordered. At the time, it was my understanding that paying the mortgage and paying for the utilities would satisfy that amount, so that's what I did. So starting in June, I lowered the amount from $1,100 to $800, and then in I want to say September, it went down to $400, and then December was the last payment of $400. I stopped paying cash payments at all at that time. And then in January 2022, my boss came and talked to me again because there's an issue with the home. The water heater went out. I didn't know about it because obviously she didn't talk to me at the time. But that kind of brought back the issues where she was accusing me of not paying enough money. So at that time, from January until April, I didn't make any payments. And then April was when I received the order from my commander to start paying her again. And that's when I made 2 payments of $1,296 for April and May. And then my new commander came in June. And the first thing we did was go and talk about that order from the previous commander. And we had a conversation, and we came to the agreement that I would pay the BH amount, which was $2,056. And my mortgage payments would count toward that. So that's how we ended up with the $414 per month. So from June until this past March, I've been making $414 payments to her every month.
So let me make sure I understand, sir. In June of 2021, you deposited $800.
Yes.
In September, October, November, and December of 2021, you paid $400 per month.
Right.
Okay. Into the joint account, correct?
No, at that time we were no longer using the joint account. I'm sorry, you're right. The joint account was what we used until January.
Okay. And in addition to these monthly sums, were you maintaining the mortgage and the car payment?
Right.
Okay. And Mr. Thoman asked you about the mortgage. It's about $1,009 per month. And
Yes.
you testified the car payment was $374. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And then a new commander came in after, well, let me go back. January 2022 to April 2022, you paid $0.
Correct. I was still paying the mortgage, but I was not sending her cash directly.
Okay, so what, you paid the mortgage, the car payment, anything else?
At that time, I was paying for the insurance, or dental insurance was still active at that time. Car insurance for a car, I was paying that as well.
Okay. Any other bills?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay. And then your commander comes in and you tender 2 payments for $1,296 for April and May of 2022. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the new commander comes in, your replacement commander, and you reached an agreement that you owe a total of $2,056 per month. Is that correct?
Correct.
And of that sum, that included the mortgage, the car payment, and approximately $414 per month cash, correct?
Correct.
And you've paid that sum, the mortgage, the car payment, and $414 from June 2022 to March of 2023. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And sir, with respect to plaintiff's 18, which was the July 2nd, 2021 letter from President Biden, that letter stated that the household benefit was estimated to be $500 per month, correct?
Correct.
And the complaint for divorce was filed June 25th, 2021, about 2 weeks prior to the letter, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know for how long you received that monthly benefit?
So as I was thinking about it, I'm certain that that deposit was going to our joint account because I filed our taxes with the joint account as direct deposit. So that money was in addition to the $1,100 I was sending at the time, and then going $800 and $400. It was into the account that I didn't use. She used it. I just deposited money there.
Is that Navy Federal account that you testified about?
No, it was a USA account. The USA account was our joint account.
USAA?
Yes.
Is that account still open today?
I'm not. No, the account is no longer open.
Say again?
The account is no longer open. She removed herself from the account, and then I closed it.
Sir, Mr. Thoman asked you about Plaintiff's 27, which was a loan modification on or about April 15, 2021. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What kind of loan modification was it?
It was just to, basically we were kind of struggling financially. We just needed to miss a couple payments and then redid the loan.
Was it just to get a reduced interest rate, or did you take money out?
No, we didn't take money out or get a reduced rate. It was just basically like a kind of a forbearance plan where you don't have to pay for 2 months and then they redo the loan X months on the end.
So you did not pay the mortgage for 2 months?
Correct.
Do you remember when that was?
Not exactly. I'll have to look at it, but it was a couple years ago at least.
Okay, so the reason I ask is that's dated April 15, 2021, and you stated that from February 21 to June of 2021, you were paying the mortgage and utilities, plus you were direct depositing $1,100 per month into an account.
Right. So with the modification, I didn't sign the documents until after we made 3 successful payments. So with it being dated in April, it would have been late 2020 when that modification actually went through.
Okay.
We were still together at that time.
Okay. All right. And so you testified about these unemployment benefits and the tax benefits, correct?
Yes.
And your testimony was that those monies were used for the benefit of the household. Is that right?
Correct.
What does that mean to you?
Correct. At the time, she wasn't working, so I paid for everything from food, utilities, the entire household expenses.
Since your remarriage on December 28, 2019, has that been the historical arrangement? You're the primary breadwinner?
No, she has worked in the past. She just typically has issues at work with her coworkers where she gets into an argument and then quits her job. So she's kind of bounced around in different careers. She also used to drive for Uber and Lyft, but then she got into an incident in downtown Las Vegas where she fired a gun at someone and was removed and banned from the platform. So that limited her ability to work. So I'm not sure what she's doing now, but she's capable of finding a job, just she has difficulty holding on to it.
So from your date of remarriage of December 28 to 2019 to today, to your knowledge, has she held a job at any time during that period?
Yes. When we got married, she was still driving for Uber. That was before that incident happened. And then, as her attorney mentioned, she had a job in fast food working at Carl's Jr. And then also, just based on Facebook posts, she mentions that she has a job, but she won't tell me exactly what it is. So I do believe she is working. She just hasn't disclosed that to the court.
And when did the incident with Uber happen, if you recall?
That would have been April. It was right before we bought the house, actually. So,
It was while you're married?
Probably April.
Or not married?
Well, we were not married, actually. It was in between the marriages. Yeah.
So April of 2019?
I believe so, April or May of 2019.
And you're active duty with the Air Force, correct?
Yes.
And how many years have you been in the service?
15 years.
15 years as of today?
As of February 14th,
You
2023. So it's about 15 years in 1 month.
Okay. And is it your intention to retire from military service if you're given that option?
I intend to, yes.
You intend to go to 20, right?
Yes.
And you believe you'll be leaving Korea in approximately 2 years?
No, less than 1 month.
Less than a month.
I'll be, yeah, less than a month.
Okay, and you have orders to go somewhere else that's classified, right?
It's not classified, I just don't want to tell her because she's threatened me. Yeah.
All right. What kind of threats?
Death threats. She's threatened to kill me and my family, saying she wished she would have killed me.
So be specific, sir.
In my exhibits, I have screenshots of some of the messages she posted on Facebook.
I understand that, but I'm asking for your testimony, sir.
Yeah, she basically posted a picture of her gun and said that if I ever came near her, she was gonna kill me.
When was this?
This was last year. I can get the exact date for you.
And how do you know that she posted that?
Facebook is public. We're not friends, but it's public. Anybody can see it.
So you saw it, you personally saw it on Facebook?
I personally saw it, yes.
Okay, so she posted a picture of a firearm, and did you construe that as a threat, or was it directed towards you, or what? I don't understand.
Yeah, the entire post was about me, and yeah, I took it as a threat.
Okay, so what was the nature of the threat?
I understood that if we ever saw each other, there would be some kind of altercation involving a firearm.
Okay. Is that the only one, or were there others?
There were other posts, yes.
Other posts on that platform or some other platform?
On Facebook. Basically, I was just mentioning that, I basically never did anything for her, and if she ever saw me again, she was going to get revenge, that kind of thing.
Did you do anything about the perceived threat, sir?
I have not done anything about it.
Sorry? Say that again?
I have not done anything about the perceived threats.
You haven't notified your command, law enforcement, nothing like that?
No, my command mentioned that she's made threats to them as well. Basically, Bush said my commander and my first sergeant died when, that's what they told me. They said that she said that she hoped they both died when they basically amended the order for me giving her $1,200 down to $400. She sent them a lot of threatening messages, and they wouldn't show me the messages because it's privileged information, but they mentioned that she kind of gave them death threats as well.
As a result of your divorce proceedings, sir, has there been any consequences to your employment other than the orders for a certain amount of support?
Yes. So as I mentioned, she made those allegations against me. I was basically arrested in Korea by OSI, which is the Office of Special Investigations, and I was interrogated for about 4 hours. Because she accused me of sexual assault and many other things that I didn't do. The investigation turned up nothing, but it did impact my career.
In what way, sir?
While the investigation was ongoing, I was basically denied any opportunities for career advancement because in the military you're not going to promote someone that's under investigation for sexual assault. So the investigation lasted over 1.5 years. It just finished up, I believe, a month or 2 ago, and during that time I was basically kind of in a corner, not given many opportunities.
So you said it ended about 2 months ago. Is that March of 2023?
Yeah, I would say March.
Okay, and so it started early 2022?
I was picked up June of 2021 is when I was interrogated. So I guess it was. Yeah.
When you say picked up and interrogated, do you mean arrested or something else?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was. I mean, they didn't really handcuff me. They just told me, hey, go to. My first sergeant told me to go to this place. He escorted me there, and then I was, booked. I was fingerprinted and pictured like a mugshot type thing, but I wasn't handcuffed or physically restrained in any way.
And you stated that that investigation's closed, correct?
Correct.
And it was closed how?
Basically, the way it works in the military, they investigate and present the information to my commander and his commander, Colonel Wood and Major Benefield, and they decide whether or not they're going to pursue charges against me, and they decided not to pursue any charges against me.
All right. Anything else you want to tell me, sir?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Thumb?
I just have one follow-up question. You stated that Ms. Harris-Bey removed herself from the joint account. Why did you testify to that?
I got a letter in the mail from USAA saying that this Cheryl Harris-Bey is no longer on this joint account, and so I'm not sure why she did it, but she did. That's why I sent her money through Zelle, whereas previously I was making direct deposits.
Okay. No further questions.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Thumb?
No further questions. I call the plaintiff, Ms. Cheryl Harris-Bey.
All right. Ma'am, I need you to come up here.
Should I put it?
You can, but you're not going to be able to use it.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Sherilyn Harris-Bey.
So, ma'am, have a seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Thumb, if I may come for some of the statutory requirements.
Sure.
Ma'am, is it true and correct that on or about June 25th, 2021, you caused to be filed a complaint for divorce?
Yes, ma'am. 2021. It's actually sooner than that. I had a first.
Well, that's the file date. If I said that's the file date, would that be accurate?
Not really accurate because I paid on May of 2021. It was John Bushmiller and Associates. The
Ma'am, if I told you the complaint was filed on June 25th, 2021, would that be accurate or not?
I'm not so sure, ma'am, how it
All right.
works.
Ma'am, to the best of your knowledge, were you a resident of Clark County, Nevada before the complaint was filed at least 6 weeks prior?
I am a resident, yes.
Are you a resident of Nevada, Clark County, Nevada today?
North Las Vegas, is that Clark County? Yes, ma'am.
And do you intend to be a resident of Clark County, Nevada for the foreseeable future?
To stay here in Nevada?
For the foreseeable future, to the best of your knowledge.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. Court accepts plaintiff's testimony in lieu of a resident witness affidavit. Ma'am, is it true and correct that you and Mr. Harris-Bey do not have any biological children together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is it true and correct, sir, that, or ma'am, that you and Mr. Harris-Bey do not have any adopted children?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, pursuant to state law, I am required to ask you the following question. Are you pregnant today?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it true and correct that you and Mr. Harris-Bey have irreconcilable differences and there's no possibility of reconciliation?
No, ma'am.
And for that reason, you're requesting a decree of divorce entered, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Thone?
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Sherilyn. During his testimony, Mr. Timothy Harris-Bey stated that he had given you passwords to all the accounts. Is that true?
No, attorney for mine.
Okay, so have you ever made a payment on the mortgage of the condominium?
No,
Did you ever make a payment on the car insurance that was in Mr. Harris-Bey's name?
I did once.
And when was that?
Just previously March or February, I'm sorry, January or February of 2023, because he stopped paying for it. I kept receiving mails, non-payments, foreclosure notices for the house. It was really worrying on my part because I have 2 kids, and I was thinking about being homeless. I didn't know the process. I don't have proper education.
Now, referring to the spousal support payments that Mr. Harris-Bey did make, were there any months where you did not receive any money from him?
Yes.
Which months were those?
November of 2022, January of 2023, April this month, April of 2023, January, February of 2022, January, February, March. I didn't receive money from him of 2022.
And when you did receive money from him, how much did you receive?
It's not an exact amount or always amount. So sorry, my English is not good. It was $800 in 2021. Few $1,100. It didn't last maybe 1-2 months, and then he lowered it down. He even threatened me to give me only $569, which is the bare minimum if I tried to speak to the authorities and to report the police for identity theft and for fraud and rape. He blackmailed me, threatened me with my previous arrest that they were gonna look into my background history, that I was an ungrateful bitch. He brought me to America, and if it's not for him, I'm not gonna be here. What else? Also, the payment, it went down to $416 in February, March, April, May. In June of 2022, it started going down to $416. But the military authorities, I kept reporting to them because he hacks my account. He pretended to be me. He goes through my email, changed my password, even the credit cards. He maxed my credit card and then denied me access to it. I have to beg, I have to cry.
Which credit card is that you're talking about?
Military Star card. And then the last time I remember it was only $2,500 because I stopped using that card. When we got divorced in 2019, I have to return my card, my military card, to the government because we were divorced. When we got remarried in December of 2019, he didn't give me the Dears card. I wasn't able to go to hospital, no dental. I remember I had a toothache. I have to put ice cubes because I cannot go to the dental. And he was okay with it. And my kids, the clothes were so small, but he pretended he was already collecting unemployment benefits. The belly button were showing. He saw that, but then he doesn't even care to say, hey, I have money. You can buy your kids some clothes. I received money. No, nothing like that. Where he pretended that what we have in our joint bank account was all we have. And he smiled straight to my face, lied straight to my face. Like nothing ever happened. Like he didn't do nothing behind my back. Like never stole my identity, used my social, used my name. As a, just because I'm married to him that he can do whatever he wants to me. No, I refuse to accept that. I have rights. I have rights.
All right, now regarding the USAA joint account, is that true? The USAA account was a joint account?
It was, yes, sir.
All right, and to your knowledge, is that where the unemployment benefits were deposited?
No, sir. The only deposit that went there started in August 12 of 2020. He created the account in February of 2020. So the unemployment benefits were sending weekly payouts. And that I didn't know. I didn't even know that the unemployment benefits existed. Not because of my mom. She told me, anak, or it's Filipino, anak. It's child in English. She said try to apply for unemployment benefits because she's receiving it. I didn't even know that unemployment benefits existed. Because I focused on driving, I focused on my 2 kids, the 2 dogs that he left me with. He adopted them, and now I'm taking care of them. And then I asked him, hey, can you help me? My mom said that there's unemployment, and she collects money every week. And then my mom said to try to apply, but I didn't know because my English is not that good. I don't know much about computers. And then he said that
So when was this that your mom told you that you might want to check out unemployment benefits?
It was in July of 2020.
Okay, and that was after, unbeknownst to you, you were already receiving unemployment benefits.
Yes, unbeknownst to me.
Do you have any idea where those weekly payments were going?
I know, sir, because at that time, I didn't even know until my mom told me until in July of 2020. Then I asked him because I trusted him. Everything that going on in my life, I asked because he's my husband. I respected him. That's just my culture. That the wife always, confide with the husband, serve the husband, take care of the husband. So I told him, can you help me because it's computer and I'm not good at it, and English is confusing for me. And then he said, okay. First he replied to me, because I'm working with the military, I don't know, you're not gonna get approved because I work for the military. And then I called my mom back. I said, Mom, Timothy said that I'm not gonna get approved because he works for the military. And then my mom said, well, if he doesn't want to help you, go try for yourself. Apply for yourself. So I talked to him back again. I talked to him again and said, well, if you don't want to help me, fine, I'll do it anyway. But can you please at least guide me with the questionnaires, how to answer them? Explain to me, like, because it's like the term is next level to me, like translate it to a simpler English. And then he said, okay, I got it, I'll help you. And then I was about to cook at that time. He distracts me. That's what he does. He distracts me.
Okay, Cheryl. Okay, you gotta stay focused. Okay. So regarding the joint account with USAA, do you recall when that joint account was established, or do you know?
It was when we got married in 2011, but I didn't receive the card until 2012 when I came here to America.
Okay, and are you still on that account?
No, sir.
When were you removed from the account?
I believe sometime in August or September of 2022.
And do you know how or why you were removed from the account?
Do I know why I removed myself?
Did you remove yourself?
Yes, I did.
When did you do that?
July to August of 2022. Because I don't want to be with joint account with my rapist and identity thief. No, I don't want that. Who wants that?
Okay, I'm directing your attention now to proposed Exhibit 45. It's in that big book in front of you. You just find the tab that says 45.
Okay. Is it PLT 496, sir?
Yes. Do you recognize these statements?
Yes.
Okay, and are these statements for the joint account?
Yes.
All right. And did you ever take any money out of the joint account?
I started depositing the money when I found out of the identity theft of the
What money did you start depositing?
In April of 2021, when I found out about this unemployment theft, the money that came from the IRS, that was actually the second time I saw the IRS deposit directly to the bank account. Like there's an IRS, and I was like thinking back now, I was like, he was hiding the money a lot of years back then when we were married. He will say he filed the tax, this is the amount, but he never showed me the tax form. He doesn't want to show me because he's been hiding money. Now it makes sense. He's been doing this to me for how many years?
Okay. And on some of these, you've put little notes underneath the statements, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Flip through all the pages of proposed exhibit 45. Take a look at all of them. On some of them, you've added little notes to them, right?
Oh yes, I did this, and I submitted this to the local police because I'm going through my reports to not just to the military but also to the local police department.
Okay, and why did you submit reports to the military and the local police?
Because this is theft. This is illegal. This is fraud. Isn't fraud illegal? It's illegal, right? If we get someone with it, then I'll start to get fraud. I'm starting.
At this time, I move to admit proposed exhibit 45.
Ma'am, who put the notes on the bottom?
I'm sorry.
Who put these notes on the bottom?
On the bottom, like this June, the date. Me.
You alone?
Yes. I tried to summarize it because I know it's a lot for the investigators. They actually have mentioned to me before that they are bombarded with all the proof that I have gathered.
Nobody helped you with the notes?
No, ma'am. As up to the best of my knowledge, as far as I can remember. And when I was doing it, I was
Hang on
crying.
just a second. Is there any opposition to admission of plaintiffs 45?
No, ma'am.
Plaintiffs 45 submitted, no objection.
All right, now regarding the stimulus payments that were paid out to you and Mr. Harris-Bey, and which he testified to, were you aware of those stimulus payments, first of all?
The first stimulus. My mom, she's always the one telling me this, refund money from the government. She said, "Nak, have you received that stimulus, the $500 for each child, and then one, I think it was 1,000 for an adult, the very first one?" I said no, and then I asked my husband. I asked the Timothy Harris-Bey, "Hey, did we receive the first stimulus?" My mom said, "There's one." I said no, because my income is high that we haven't received anything. And I believed in him. And then the next stimulus, the 1,400 in 2021. He withdrew his stimulus, the $1,400. So what remains was $1,400 for my two kids and for myself. So $1,400 times 3. But it wasn't enough for him. He took those out and then used that. He told me, well, I just got here in Korea. I need to pay the house down payment, first month advance, first month deposit. I don't have money for that. And I believed in him again. So okay, I have plans for
Okay.
that money.
What about the $500 monthly payments? Do you know what happened to those?
That I received, the $500. Yes, I received that.
For
But-
which months?
From the July, from that letter, I have from June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 months. I received $500 each month. But then I received also a letter from the IRS refund. It was $1,100 something. I'm supposed to be receiving that in September of 2021. I never received that. He took that too, and he said, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Right, and
where
what was
did
that money for?
It's the IRS because of the unemployment benefit. There was a calculation, a refund. It's like a owed to us, and they're gonna refund because of the checking, the audit, whatever that is. And I received the letter, but then I didn't receive the money.
And so that would have been deposited into the same account that the tax refund was deposited into, correct?
Most probably, but
And do you know which account that would have been?
It's his bank account, but I didn't know that he has other bank accounts before. He told me that our joint bank account, which is USAA bank account, is his only bank account. And I believed in him. But after realizing all of his identity theft and his rape and all of this, his lies, now it all makes sense. He had a lot of other bank accounts. He's just not telling me. Even in our first divorce, he lied. He said, "I don't have any money. I don't have anything else." No. And
All
I
right,
believed
so
in him.
when this condominium was purchased, were you involved at all?
Yes, sir.
And how were you involved?
Because the previous owner asked the realtor to something like $1,200 something down. I don't know if it was a down payment, but as a form of payment because he needed the money, and then we didn't have enough that money because I got arrested. Bailing, I have to pay for the bail bonds, and then
Okay,
I
so
asked my
was
mom,
this earnest money that you're referring to?
what's earnest?
It's, well, so who was asking you for the payment and how much was it?
The previous owner. It wasn't. See, the thing is that
And how much was he asking for?
it was the money that the previous owner needed was $1,200 something that
All
was
right,
paid
and
for.
was that money paid?
Yes, that was paid, but then my
And
mom
what was
got
the
involved.
source? What was the source of that $1,200?
Half of that came from my mother, and half is from his the bank account. It
From
wasn't
which bank
enough.
account?
Yeah, but then he denies now. When we were talking, no one helped me. Nobody helped me. Your mom didn't help me. No, that's a lie. My mom always send us money because he pretends he doesn't. What we have in our joint bank account was all we have, and always negative, almost negative balance, and then we still have to eat.
Since this case was initiated, at the beginning, were you being provided with health insurance through your husband's military?
What was the question again? Can you please repeat?
Did you have health insurance that was being provided to you by your spouse when this divorce was initiated?
Yes, I can still go to the hospital. Yes, but like I said, 1 year I wasn't able. December of 2019, we got married. But then 1 year, because he didn't want to process that, he has a lot of excuses. I kept asking him to help
Okay.
me out.
What about your vision and dental?
Well, I have to pay for the dental, even though I have a lot of other credit cards to pay, but I have to prioritize that because my kids and I got service, and they were calling me to pay for $500 something, and then I have to call the dental insurance, the vision insurance, and I paid for it because he stopped paying for it.
When did he stop paying for it?
I believe in November of 2022, sometime like that. Yeah, sometime.
What about your car insurance? When this case was initiated, who was handling the car insurance?
Everything is his. He under his name. I cannot own anything. Only him.
Okay, and what happened to that car insurance?
It was the Geico When I called the Geico, no payment, so no premium, no more car insurance. But I drive, I need car insurance.
So are you saying it was canceled due to non-payment?
Yes.
When was that?
This the date was December of 2022, and then I paid January of 2023 because I need car insurance for my car. And I can't even register my car because he's manipulating everything. He changed the address to Korea. I went to the DMV, even brought my marriage certificate, everything. And I said, this is my car. The honorable judge in my first divorce told me I can have it. But then my husband, he changed everything, the address to Korea. All of my important mail sent to Korea. I have mail theft case number.
Okay, let's talk about your work history for a moment.
Sir Thurman, you're at 90. Just letting you know.
Okay. What jobs have you had during this marriage?
Uber, driving for Uber and Lyft.
How much did you make doing that?
Not depends. Maybe like $100, $150. Sometimes it's good.
How
sometimes
often?
it's
Every
bad.
week?
4 to 5 days a week.
Okay. Any other jobs you had?
Other than that, no.
Did you work at Carl's Jr. at one point?
Yes, after,
How
yes,
much
when
were
he
you?
left.
How much were you earning working there?
It was $11 per hour, but then I got promoted, so it was $13.50, the latest paycheck I had for those 6 months, almost 6 months period.
And I'm out of time, right, Judge?
As of right now, you're at 94.
All right. I will pass the witness.
Sir, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yes.
Okay, so remember that it's questions. It's not a time to argue or testify. If you don't like the answer, it's not, I don't agree with that, and then you tell me, okay?
Okay.
So just like your report, who, what, when, where.
Okay. One of the plaintiff's exhibits, PLT 426. It's
Say
the Geico payment.
Say the number again, sir.
PLT 426. It's an email regarding the Geico payment. I just want to ask the plaintiff, is that an email that you received, or was that an email that I received?
That's plaintiff's 35.
PLP 425?
It's plaintiff's 35. It's Bates number 425.
Okay. Okay, what was the question again?
Who received the email listed?
What's your question, sir?
I would like to know who received this email. The email address is blacked out.
I'm not sure I'm looking at the same.
It's a mail. It's not an email. It's mail. I received it through mail, and then I called, and then I paid. I'm attempting to have car insurance. But
So
then,
the plaintiff's 35, Bates 425 is doesn't appear to be an email.
Be looking at the wrong thing. The email address listed on the Geico account, who does it belong to?
it was supposed to be yours before, but then I tried to contact them because of the car manipulation that you have with me. So I called the Geico. I said, hey, I'm married to him. I'm a legal wife. This is my email, you know, if you have any update, blah, blah, blah. Then they added my email.
Oh, so you called them and they added your email, and then since then you received all notifications of non-payment on this account?
Mail and sometimes email. Yes.
Okay, so you received all notifications for this account?
Not everything, I guess, but non-payment. I usually receive non-payment from your non-payment.
Okay. Is there any other email addresses listed on the Geico account?
Any other email address?
Yes.
I don't see anything, but when I went to download the Geico app, I saw your email there. And of course it's yours. This is your account. They should have your info.
But if you called them and changed it,
I
then it
didn't.
would only be yours,
I
correct?
didn't change it. I just said added my email. I never said.
So
remove
since there's
it.
only one email address listed, it's safe to assume that they added yours and removed mine, and you're the only person receiving these notifications.
If this is your excuse, you know how to hack. You have a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity.
So, ma'am, would you answer the question, please?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Don't argue with them, just answer.
Yeah, I would just like to clarify that when you called Geico, they removed your email as presented in your exhibit. They removed my email, and yours is the only email listed. Thus, you're the only person receiving notifications for this account.
Well, they didn't tell me that they removed your email. I didn't tell them that to remove your email. I said added my email. So whoever deleted that email, it wasn't me.
Okay. Moving on, you mentioned that in November of 2022, the dental insurance no longer became current. Did you receive any notifications that it was going to lapse?
There was a mail, yes, but then I also, in December of 2022, Captain Webster, the prosecutors in Korea, asked me to have an interview, FaceTime interview, for the sexual assault, for the rape that I filed against you. So then I told them about it, and I thought that, since I mentioned that to them, that they're gonna relay that information to you, but I didn't know that it didn't, or I don't know the process, but all of the non-payment that you didn't pay, I mentioned that to them.
Okay. So we're in agreement that you received the notifications, and the only attempt you made to notify me of this was reaching out to an attorney who was handling a separate sexual assault investigation.
The only attempt, what do you want me to do? Reach out to you.
So, ma'am, I need you to just answer the questions. Don't argue with them.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yes, I mentioned that to them. We're not talking. Why would I talk to my rapist and identity thief? So I wouldn't
So,
talk
ma'am,
to
I
you.
want to caution you against using that term.
I
That's
talk.
an allegation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I talked to them stating that I'm not talking to him anymore. I don't want to talk to him. I never want to see him. And if you can please tell him that he had a lot of non-payments, keep receiving here in the mail. Well, this is what I have told them. I'm not trying to argue that. I'm just repeating what I have told the investigators on that December virtual appointment. So I told them that I told them that I never want to talk to him anymore. I never want to see my rapist. I don't want to give him a chance to rape me again. Nothing like that.
Okay. Moving on, you mentioned that you were not allowed to go to the hospital on base because you didn't have an ID card. I would like to just mention that do you remember going to the base and trying to get an ID card, but you were denied access because you have pending felony charges?
Yes, and I don't know if you already know that, but that happened because you forced me to go out with you to waive the $300 alimony because you wanted to get a home. And you told me that because of the $300 alimony that were ordered you by the judge, because they went to your credit score, going through your credit payment, blah blah blah. If I don't waive the $300 amount, if I don't agree with you, then you're not gonna get the house. So you told me, I don't know if it's a lie on your part again. You told me that I need to go with you and sign to the notary. We notarized that I, Timothy Harris-Bey, waived the $300 payment alimony ordered by the judge. You told me to put that and sign that because you wanted a house. Yeah? Remember that? And then when I came back because I had an arrest where, felony, of course, you've been working to the military. Hello. Of course, on base, criminal arrest. Why would they let people with criminal arrest go back on base? You should know that.
Yeah, so my question is the reason you were not allowed to go to the hospital because of the felony charges and not because you didn't have an ID card?
But we're not married that time yet. We're divorced. We were married in December of 2019. And then you didn't want to get to help me go to the hospital for 1 whole year, more than 1 whole year, even though I have toothache. Sometimes I don't feel well. Huh? You just pretend everything okay.
And when did your felony charges get resolved?
In November of 20. I don't know. It's been a while. November, something like that. November of 2020. 2020. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Moving on, did you ever attend DeVry University?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wanted to learn. I wanted to have an education. I wanted to get educated. Okay, what's your question?
Okay. Did that university request copies of your previous year tax return as proof of income?
Mm-hmm.
And did I provide those to you?
Yeah, you so what happened was I asked you to help me. You do the emailing, put the application process, all of the submission. And you know, even until now I filed for my tax return. I don't even know where I'm looking at. I don't even know where the refund amount is.
So it's true that you received the tax return, you just didn't understand it?
That particular year, because it was needed. But then you were the one who I didn't receive it. You passed that email. You communicated. You helped me with that because I begged you to. And I was like, what?
Okay. Okay. Last question. You mentioned in the beginning of your testimony that I made several disparaging remarks towards you, and I see in your exhibits that there are many screenshots of messages between you and I. Are there any messages of those comments that you say I made?
Which one?
I'm asking, are there any? You mentioned that in your words I called you ungrateful bitch. Are there any screenshots of messages that I sent you that say that?
My Facebook, we were talking on Messenger, my Facebook for 10 years. It was hacked when I found out about the theft, the rape, the unemployment benefit. You hacked it. I told you you hacked it, and then you said, it wasn't me, you should look the other way. But then, who will benefit if the what you call this, the proof is gone? Huh? You know the passwords to, you mentioned, I know your passwords and everything to your account. No, it was the other way around. You know everything, huh? About me. You check my email, you check my Facebook without even telling me, asking me if you can go through that. You just go through that because you think you own me. For being married with you, for bringing me to America.
Yeah, so just to be clear, there are no messages or screenshots of messages with me making those comments?
Yes, no, but God saw that. God hears that. Yes.
I have no further questions.
Yeah, Your Honor, very briefly, I know I'm out of time, but she was testifying about the tax return, so. Directing your attention to proposed exhibit 38.
Which one, Mr. Thumb?
38.
38.
Thank you.
Have you found it?
Yes, the PLT 452.
Yes, you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a tax return.
Okay, is it your tax return?
Yes.
For what year?
2022.
And flipping through it, is it a fair and accurate copy of the tax return that you filed for 2022?
It's an accurate? Yes. I went to H&R Block because, like I said, I don't know how to file my own divorce, my own tax. So even though I have to pay, I paid anyway because,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this time I move to admit proposed exhibit 38.
Is there any objection to plaintiff's 38?
No objections.
No objection, plaintiff's 38 's amended.
And then also proposed exhibit 53, way at the end, second to last.
Mhm. Okay.
What is that?
PLT 536?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the 2020 unemployment, the 1099G that I didn't know I will receive.
And what's the total unemployment compensation listed on there?
$32,336.20.
All right, and then very briefly, the next exhibit, the very last one.
Okay.
That's proposed exhibit 54. What is that?
PLT 527, also 1099G for 2021.
All right, and what does that list your unemployment compensation at?
The $13,073.30 That's sorry, I don't have no
And are
glasses.
proposed exhibits 53 and 54 fair and accurate copies of the 1099Gs you received for unemployment benefits for
Yes.
2020 and 2021?
Yes, sir. This is the amount I received from the mailbox. Yes, they sent
All
this
right.
to me.
Move to admit those exhibits, 54 and 53.
Is there any objection to admission of plaintiff's 53?
No objections.
Okay, plaintiff's 53 admitted an objection. And plaintiff's 54, sir?
No objections.
Plaintiff's 54 admitted no objection.
And then one final question. How much of this unemployment money, in your best estimate, did you receive, Sherilyn,
In 2020,
in total?
in total, I have that on. I'm referring to this because I did my. Just give me 1 second. I did a. Suspicious summary. Okay, this is the summary. For the 2020 transactions, so legit transactions in 2020 that I know I claimed is $9,800.49. In 2021, it's $3,076. And the rest of this amount, he have it.
Okay, no further questions.
Is there any questions for the witness?
No further questions, ma'am.
Ma'am, you stated you're from the Philippines.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you raised there?
I was born and raised in the Philippines, yes.
And where at?
Caloocan City.
Is that what island is that?
Luzon.
And is Tagalog the
Primary language,
okay?
yes.
And is English the second language that's taught in the Philippines?
Yes, but I also have other dialects because we have plenty of islands.
Okay. And ma'am, you testified your attorney sought admission of the unemployment benefits for 2020. And I want to make sure I understand, he asked you how much you received for 2020, and you said $9,849.
$9,849.
$9,849.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
how
ma'am.
did you receive that money?
So it is, the deposit started in August of 2020 because he agreed that he will pay because he knows I'm gonna apply anyway. So he said, okay, I'll help you. Then he said, the unemployment benefit allows you to receive $469 a week. He never mentioned $769 because unbeknownst to me, the unemployment benefits also sent extras $300.
So ma'am, you testified you got $9,849. How did you get that money?
It's in the joint bank account, so he's gonna deposit money. He's gonna deposit money from other. It's like P2P. I don't know where that. He's from other bank account, and I thought that's how it's done because I don't know the process. I just trusted him. I was grateful, happy that because we were struggling, the pandemic.
In 2020, you were married, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in 2021, Mr. Thoman asked you. You said you received $3,076.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you get it the same way, a deposit to the joint account?
No, ma'am. I changed it when I finally gained access to my account after he has problems receiving calls. In April of 2021, I changed the direct deposit to my new Navy Federal Credit Union account. But then, even though my unemployment benefits is active until September of 2021, because I want to report the fraud, they froze my account. So even if I have some money that I can still claim every week, but because I choose to report the fraud to the unemployment benefits, to the police, to the military, they have to freeze my account. No money, no more income for me. And then I have to pay the attorney fees.
So if I understand you correctly, in April of 2021, you changed the direct deposit for the unemployment to your own account
Yes, ma'am.
and also reported some type of fraud.
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
then they have to freeze my account.
And you filed for divorce in approximately June of 2021, correct?
I think that was the
Around that time.
attorney, when they filed it in court, but then I went there in May. I paid in May $1,500 retainer. That's the little amount of money I had left. I still have to pay. I paid there.
But you
In May.
filed for divorce in 2021, correct?
Yes,
About
ma'am.
halfway through the year?
May of 2020.
Okay. And based on your testimony today, Mr. Harris-Bey has been the primary breadwinner mostly, correct?
And, well, when it comes to the paycheck, yes, he
Did you work other than Uber?
yes, I worked in Florida before we moved here in Las
No,
Vegas.
no, no. Since you were married in December 28, 2019 to today,
Oh,
have you worked other than Uber?
Carlos Jr.
Carl's Jr. and Uber, that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you work full-time or part-time at Carl's Jr.?
I was hired part-time, but then full-time I was like overtime.
So you got extra hours.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, overwork.
And how long did you work at Carl's Jr.?
Approximately 6 months.
6 months. And when was that?
From January of 2022 to June, July, August, to July or August of 2022.
And how long did you drive for Uber?
Since we moved here in February of 2017, a month after that I started driving, so March 2017, and then I decided to stop during the pandemic, which is in 2020, March of 2017 up to February, April of 2020.
And Mr. Thurman asked you and you thought that you earned about $150 a week?
No, not a week. Sometimes it's like it depends, 600, 400 to like maybe $1,200 a week. Especially when we got divorced, because I wanted to move and I have to give a paycheck, like a proof of income. So I really drove a lot of hours, 12 hours a day. And I wanted to show them that, hey, I'm earning money and all that. But then he convinced me, why not we get remarried again? You know, everything's gonna change when we get a new house. He sweet talked me, made me believe in him again.
So Mr. Thurman asked you, you said you earned between 100 and 150 a week, but you're saying you may have earned up to 1,200 a week.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for that period of
Well,
2017 to April of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right. Mr. Thurman, any questions based on mine?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Is there any questions based on mine?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can have a seat with your attorney.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. Thank you. Should I leave that here? Oh.
Mr. Thurman, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, rest.
Rest. Sir, I have compressed testimony to allow you to do direct during cross-examination. Is there any other testimony you wish to offer or any further questions?
I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I wanted to go over the exhibits I presented. I don't know if they're available to the court, but if not, then we can just move on.
Did you submit electronic exhibits?
Yeah, I filed it in the online website.
So
E-file.
hang on, I'm gonna have that marshal hand a copy to Mr. Thurman. The first question I have to ask her is if they were exchanged, so I need to have Mr. Thurman take a look. Were these exchanged, Mr. Tillman?
These are things that were attached to his pretrial memo. I have seen them.
Were they exchanged in accordance with my trial management order?
No, they were not disclosed prior to the close of discovery.
All right. So, sir, I can't entertain exhibits that were not exchanged as part of the discovery process. I did see your trial management order that was filed this morning, and I would note that to the extent that there's some items in there, you've offered testimony about some of the interpersonal issues, but I wouldn't be inclined to entertain exhibits that haven't been exchanged, or that you have proof that you exchanged them. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes. All of those were not in there. So.
Okay. So is there anything else, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm gonna find that defendant's rested. I did allow compression. Mr. Thoman, do you wish to close?
Very briefly, Your Honor, I think the court's heard everything it needs to hear. I'll just say, with regard to the condominium, in his pretrial memo, again, he's asking for 100% of it. That's not what he pled in his answer and counterclaim. Even though the condo is only in his name, it was purchased right after the second marriage. My client testified that they purchased it together, so I would say that at the very least it's quasi-community property. And under Malmquist, there's a community interest so big because they got married the same year, only about 5 months later, that it's essentially 50% anyway. So I would ask that the court hold him to what he put in his answer and counterclaim and award the entirety of the condominium to my client. With respect to spousal support, I think the testimony was clear that he is the primary breadwinner. Even though it's a short-term marriage, the earning and income capacity of my client is much lower than his. He seemed to be arguing that she can't hold down a job because she's always getting into trouble and all this other stuff. Even if that were true, he knew that when he married her the second time, because the incidences that he alleged, something about a gun involved with when she was driving for Uber and Lyft, he knew about that before he married her the second time. So that doesn't really avail him at all. Her marketability is lower than his. She has no specialized education or training, whereas he has a military career. He's on track to complete that and retire. He has received significant training and education through that. And and then with respect to the other issues, I'll just submit it. I think the court heard everything it needs to know.
All right.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Thoman, I do have to ask, I have a larger oversight. There's a military issue here. This marriage is short term, and because we had a prior termination that was summary, that resolves that marriage, and then we have the second marriage, which is, as of today's date, approximately 3 years. I don't know that I'm not sure about the retirement component. It wasn't pled, but I feel like I have a duty to mention it.
I agree with you, and I think that that's just one more factor to lean towards awarding a little bit more alimony.
Okay. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
I'd just like to again mention the length of the marriage. Married in December, and we separated in February, a year after that. And since then, I've been providing financial support for the better part of almost 2 years, which I think is significant. She's had plenty of time to get back on her feet and find her own work. I think that alimony is only going to further allow her to just continue the lifestyle of living off of somebody else.
What are you requesting with respect to the condo, sir?
I would like to retain ownership of the condo. I've been the only person paying, although I did get behind for 1 month. I've been the only person paying for the condo since 2019, and I would like to continue doing so as I move back to America next month, as I said.
Okay. And what would that look like to you, sir? I'm curious what you think that would look like. She resides in the home, correct? currently, right?
Right. I think it would obviously be fair to give her adequate time to move her possessions out, and then I would move in after that. Yeah.
And you're requesting no spousal support, if I understand you correctly?
I think the amount I provided thus far, thousands of dollars over the 2 years we've been separated, is more than adequate.
Sir, since I asked Mr. Thoman, I'm going to ask you the same question. You're a military personnel. If you do reach retirement date, there's military retirement. There's the possibility that at any point post-retirement or pre-retirement, you could request veterans disability payment. Veterans disability payment is solely the property of the veteran. Do you have any position with respect to military retirement and the approximately 3 years you've been married?
I think that while military spouses do support, the entire 2 years I've been under extreme amount of stress and oppression because of the allegations she made. So I think entitling her to any amount of my retirement would be completely out of the question for me.
Okay.
If I even,
Right.
due to what I've been through, there's possibly I wouldn't even make it that far. So.
Okay. All right. Understood. All right, folks. I'm going to tell you a couple things before we recess today. First and foremost, the request for a decree of divorce is granted. Each of you is returned to the status of single, unmarried person. Mr. Thoman, does your client request a name change?
Do you want to go back to your prior name?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I get the full name that will be requested?
It's my first name Sherilyn, Cherelyn, and my maiden name Osorio. Before I got married to him, and then last name Sai, S-Y.
And how do you spell Osorio?
O-S-O-R-I-O.
And it's S-Y, correct?
S-Y for last name, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, folks, this is a trial. I need to remind you both of the following. Until you receive a copy of the decree of divorce in your hand that is signed by me and file stamped, technically you remain married. So please don't run off and get married until you have a copy of that in your hands. Please don't change anything until you get a copy of the decree of divorce. We are unfortunately pretty overrun in Clark County. We try to get these out as soon as possible. Decrees of divorce from trial take a little bit longer. We will work to get you a final order as soon as possible. I know you guys have been waiting for a long time. You are going to receive a copy of your decree of divorce, and almost immediately after that you're going to get what's called as a notice of entry of decree. You have 30 days from the day that you receive the notice of entry of decree to file an appeal. If you do not file an appeal, if you're thinking about it, if you don't file it within 30 days, it's time barred. You can't file it at all. So for Ms. Harris-Bey, I'm going to have you have a conversation with Mr. Thoman, make sure you understand your appeal rights. There are a very, very narrow, tiny exception of motions that will stay that clock. It's a very technical legal issue. It's a request for new trial or amendment of judgment. And you still have to protect your appeal rights if you intend to appeal. So, sir, do you understand that you're going to get a copy of a decree and a notice of entry, and you have 30 days from the notice of entry to file any appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Thoman, you'll have a conversation with your client?
I will.
All right, very well. Folks, this matter is going under advisement today. Again, we will do our very best to get you a final order as soon as possible. Please be patient with us. I have about 6 matters queued up for decision and about 7 trials running right now and 500 families that I'm managing. So we'll do everything we can to get it to you very soon, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Thoman?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Appreciate it.
Sir, any questions for you?
No, ma'am.
All right, very well. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.